Today, Deputy William Ruto saw the crimes against humanity case against him collapse.
God, family,
The revolution comes first, then love follows.
After watching this film, that was a few months ago, a friend of mine asked me, "What do you think about the film?" I told him, I thought it was a very important historical record.
How dirty politics in Kenya is. I think for many of us, we actually never get to see those intricacies.
I think for me, when I watched that film, it was all about appreciation for the work that you do. We see you on TV and hear about all the things you do. We appreciated that. Personally, I appreciated that. But after watching that film, it's turned more to respect.
I think it is eye-opening, and a call for action has been very awakening.
People have started waking up and realizing this is bullshit. This may determine what happens in future generations, this election.
So you're voting?
Hell no.
We have a lot of self-hate among Kenyans. We hate ourselves so much that the guys who try to do something, we hate them too. Voting is very important. The truth is, what you need in parliament are 1 or 2 or 3 or even 5 or 10 members of parliament who will speak truth to power irrespective of their political party. So please do vote, because if you vote for one person who can make a difference, it's going to make a big difference. Silence is not doing your part. Fear is not doing your part. Do something. Even if they lose, you'll always say, I was on the right side of history.
And this one also goes to Njeri here. What was the emotional cost or the mental cost of your political career?
I think when I look at what we fight for and what we've stood for, we have different places, we have different things, we occupy different spaces, yeah? I am at home, I am raising the children, and Boni is out there. We can't both be out there, because who's going to be home, yeah? Who's going to put the children to sleep? And when you talked about the cost, also is Boni has not been there to put his children to sleep. So we want you to see beyond that, beyond this, it's this and so much more. And when you see this, you see yourself as a father, you see yourself as a wife, you see yourself as a mother, you see yourself as a child, and you appreciate that wholeness.
At what point did it occur to you that, hey, this thing needs to be out here?
There is no point in the process where it feels, especially when you're following Boni and Njeri, because every day there's something special that's happening. For me, it's about sharing truth. And that, because I don't think there's anything you saw that's not true. We started with nothing. Like we had no money. There was nothing. We just had joy. That's the truth. Someone would be like, have you met those Kenyans who just keep smiling?
We did not pretend to be something that we weren't. We did not pretend that we had awards behind us. We just knew that we wanted to do this film about, love for family and country. And we wanted to do this film because we really do love our country with all its imperfections.
If all of us have our stories, all of us, right? And the world needs to hear those stories. We need to own those stories and tell those stories, because that's the only way we make a difference.
How do you lead a movement? By inspiring love and not hate.
Activism actually comes from a foundation of love.
Actually, the person I want to recognize mostly is you, Njeri, because you've made this human. And your human emotions, your feelings, the sense, the balancing you've had to do, the compromises you've had to make, wonderful. And I hope that from now on, when Boniface makes a decision, you can tell him, no, that's your decision, you do it by yourself. He cannot have to convince you. Soko, 7 years. You're a brave man to be in their faces all that long. Well done. And I know the cameramen are not often recognized. It's a hard job carrying that camera and going with them. And thank you for that. But Toni, putting 7 years of footage into those hours. Guys, that's not so easy. What is left on the floor? And for you to select and choose it, I know it's hard. And
it's 100 hours cut.
And I tell you, thank you for that, and thank you for highlighting the women in this, because I think it's important. We see too much of men. Boni, the struggle must go on, one. It must go on.
Nchi yetu ya Kenya tunayoipenda, tuwe tayari